I think you're.
Let me share my screen. Just a short. Okay. Give me 1 minute. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, now we can see it.
Okay. I take this opportunity definitely to thank the entire Region 8 leadership for really putting this together. So I'm definitely sure that by the end of this webinar, each one of us will have really attained some background knowledge on how to put together a strong, really humanitarian technology proposal. I'll definitely begin by taking us through briefly about what humanitarian technologies is all about, so that we definitely get a glimpse on what it is all about. To begin with, my name is Lwanga Herbert, and I'm the immediate past chair of the HTSAP Humanitarian Technologies Board. I've served in various positions within the IEEE over the past 15 years. In my day-to-day work, I work with the Logero Group Limited, where I'm the Director of Research and Development. I'm also the co-founder of the Logero Science Foundation, a non-profit organization that conducts research and development within Uganda. I'm also based in Uganda. So this is a brief glimpse of what we shall talk about. I won't delve much on this slide. So at this moment, I'll definitely invite us all to definitely take a brief review of this video about humanitarian technologies.
IEEE Humanitarian Technologies is a consortium of programs and initiatives supported by a global network of volunteers and technical professionals working together to apply technology to solve the world's most pressing problems. In keeping with the IEEE mission of advancing technology for the benefit of humanity at the core, our consortium of humanitarian programs leverages the strength and reach of the IEEE network to make a difference in local communities around the globe. Our joint impact reaches all corners of the world. We work closely with local partners in small communities to address local challenges. We also work with the global partners to solve universal problems facing our next generations. Through our humanitarian technology programs, we power remote villages, provide internet for all, electrify healthcare, and empower education. We provide opportunities to fund the design and implementation of sustainable technologies to solve the most pressing challenges in the world. We also support disaster relief by providing connectivity and electricity to affected people in the US and abroad. Through our initiatives and programs, we not only give a platform for engineering with purpose, but also allow young engineers to grow professionally while significantly benefiting humanity. The humanitarian technology programs at IEEE inspire new generations to solve our current social, environmental, and humanitarian problems. When joining the IEEE Humanitarian Technologies, you're not just an engineer, you're a change maker, sparking transformative solutions worldwide to build a better and more sustainable world for all. Join us
Definitely, I welcome you all to join the entire Humanitarian Technologies volunteers to definitely contribute to the entire efforts of applying technology for the betterment of humanity. I'll definitely proceed
IEEE
to the
Humanitarian
next slide.
Technologies is a consortium of programs and initiatives supported by a
So if I can proceed to the next slide, we are IEEE's Tech for Social Impact Hub, a consortium of programs and initiatives that is supported by a global network of volunteers and those professionals who definitely work together to apply technology in order to solve those humanitarian technology challenges. We basically focus on a specific type of humanitarian technology work, that is tech for good. In other words, technology that is geared towards that social impact for humanity. So these are some of the consortium programs at the IEEE Humanitarian Technologies. We basically focus on providing those programs a home for aspects like impact infrastructure, and as well as expertise in humanitarian technology, outreach and joint marketing in order to standardize the entire messaging for all those programs, as well as providing a partnership platform in order to develop and deploy, as well as expanding those programs that are geared towards advancing technology for humanity. I'll definitely proceed to a slide that will definitely focus on how to write strong proposals, and this is mainly is in line with the IEEE Humanitarian Technologies one of the programs at IEEE Humanitarian Technologies, that is Tech for Good. This program is really focuses on providing funding opportunities in order to support those grassroots technological projects led by the IEEE volunteers, youth volunteers, who are definitely, who have a lot of passion and interest in addressing those challenges that are related to sustainable development. The entire mission is definitely focuses on creating those new opportunities in order to partner, as well as leveraging the strength of the entire IEEE network, youth volunteers and expertise in order to solve those challenges within the localities. This program definitely focuses on providing funding support of up to $10,000 per project in a timeline of 6 months. This program definitely encourages a primary applicant to be an IEEE member, who should definitely have that linkage or connected to the entire community, the entire local community. Teams definitely receive that funding support for a project that they definitely go ahead and implement within their locality. And any of the projects that youth volunteers come up with should address one or more of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. In here, volunteers definitely work and partner with the community in order to identify as well as address those challenges that are within those communities. And through that, they definitely proceed to develop, customize, as well as develop that particular technology in order to solve that challenge that they might have identified. It is important to consider environmental, the cultural, socio-economic, as well as infrastructural issues, because each of the communities, our communities differ. So it is important to put these aspects into consideration when you're planning to really implement any of the humanitarian technology projects. So if I can briefly talk about the technology impact categories that definitely currently IEEE humanitarian technology focuses on, applicants usually select a technology impact category that is definitely related to any of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. For this case, we currently focus on SDG 2, SDG 6 that focuses on clean water and sanitation, SDG 2 that focuses on zero hunger and food security, as well as SDG 7 that looks at affordable and clean energy, and SDG 9 that focuses industry, innovation, and infrastructure. For instance, these 4 SDGs are those that we definitely focused in 2025 call for proposals. So in summary, for 2024, we received this number of proposal applicants, 355, and then 77 applications were approved from 15 countries and from 3 H4E regions. 137 over 137 estimated beneficiaries we are really just benefited from those projects, and an amount of over $597,000 was awarded in grants. So if I can proceed a little bit, these are some of the numbers that we received in 2025. We received over 394 applications, and an amount of $338,000 was awarded for the projects. Those applications came in from Region 10. 240 applications received for Tech for Good open for call for proposals, and 26 were definitely approved in that respect from Region 10. So Tech for Good Challenge pilots, I can briefly talk about this. This is also an opportunity for all of us to really participate in. Once we get that particular knowledge on how to write good proposals or strong humanitarian technology proposals, we shall be definitely able to harness or make use of these opportunities. This is one other opportunities, Tech for Good Challenge, which we definitely piloted within Tunisia and Lebanon sections, where definitely 3 winning teams definitely received about $10,000 each in order for them to implement any of the humanitarian technology solutions. So we shall definitely proceed on how to plan our Tech for Good or humanitarian technology proposals or projects. What are some of those checklists that we applicants should always look out for, or should always consider? It is important always, before you start to put together a strong proposal or humanitarian technology proposal, it is always important for us to create a multi-perspective team. A diverse team with that shared responsibilities enhances definitely project success. That is by integrating varied expertise as well as improving community engagement. In this respect, definitely, because you see, when you some of us are engineers, and then some of us are not engineers. So, and we definitely note that each one of us has a specific type of skill set. So we definitely encourage you to have that diversity within your team. And non-engineering members, such as social scientists and local leaders, may definitely join the team. These definitely come with the skills like communication skills, bring up skills like conflict resolution, as well as thereby ensuring the continuity of the entire initiative. Different types of like expertise, like I said, come with that diversity. Things to do with technical management, as well as a multiplicity of other skills. So it is important for us to always have that aspect of really partnering with communities, because remember, these are the communities that will definitely make use of the technology that you definitely are looking at putting together. These are the communities that will later on, after you implement your project, continue with that technology solution that you will have developed. So pre-existing relationship definitely with these communities enhances project success, thereby fostering trust and communication. It also leads to those personal connections, which are definitely entry points for you to deploy a particular solution that you would wish to definitely deploy. It also brings about sustainability. Remember, at some point, you as a volunteer, you as an IEEE member, you as a technologist, you will definitely close up that project. The project definitely will come to an end. And at some point, if this project has ended, it is important for us to really think through on how, on the continuity of this project after our implementation. So a community plays, community collaboration plays an important role in this aspect. It is important while working or collaborating with a community, it is important to build that solution or project ownership into this community. This definitely brings about sustainability that I've just briefly talked about. For example, once you identify that particular challenge within that particular community, it is important to work with that community in getting their views on on how they perceive the idea that you have, or at some point that community can also have different perspective, their perspective on how or on what solution you should definitely put together as a team. So those aspects definitely bring about the ownership. The community will build that community ownership of the technology, which in the long run brings about sustainability once the project comes to an end. It also brings about that voluntary participation and the community engagement, which results into agreement and into supporting the entire project and sustainability. It is always good or important for us to design for long-term sustainability. This definitely done by like assigning maintenance roles within the community. It is important to assign roles with the collaborators of your project. Ensure effective communication during the entire process, as well as leverage those local committees. You as a project leader, or you as a volunteer who is planning to implement that project, it is important to leverage the different skill set, the different local committees that you will have set up in order to implement your project. The training aspect is very vital. This definitely brings about skills transfer, because some of us might be too technical. So once you proceed to develop your solution, the aspect of training, for example, they train the communities, that those users who use the technology, it is very important, because there's no way how me as a community member, if I'm not trained in the particular technology developed, I can proceed to use it. So it is better to have that perspective into place when thinking about project implementation. You can as well think about other aspects like creating, organizing training workshops, STEM workshops, as well as having that data collection aspect into it is also important, because for you to have that data to work around, for you to develop your solution based on the data that you really gathered is very important. These strategies definitely ensure that these solutions that you develop stay functional and adaptable, thereby bringing about the aspect of sustainability. It is important to actively involve the community at every step. Like I said earlier, in project problem identification, it is important for us to work with the community, because these are the people who definitely benefit from your solution. Design choices. Let the community have some choices of the designs of your proposed solution. Let them come up with ideas, which ideas you can definitely proceed to incorporate into your design. Implementation. while implementing your solution, it is important to really involve the community. This definitely results into the aspect that we talked about earlier, the ownership aspect. Operation and maintenance, those are also key aspects. Well, after you developing that solution, it is vital for the community to be definitely trained on how this solution will be maintained, on how this solution operates. Definitely after you implement this project, the community can definitely take it on, thereby having this your solution sustainable. So these are key aspects to consider while putting together your proposal, your humanitarian technology proposal, as well as a project implementation. Submitting a strong proposal, I'll take you through some of the aspects that the HTB proposal evaluation committee does once your proposal has been submitted. Application will definitely be reviewed following the following criteria. The first criteria is on how your solution will benefit the entire local community. How have you properly articulated that aspect within your proposal? So that will be one of the key aspects that the evaluation committee will definitely look at. The project scope. How have you defined your project scope? Does it meet that technological and sustainable development aspect? So it is always important to have all these aspects into consideration. Make sure that your proposal that you put together meets the entire technological requirements, the entire sustainable development requirements, as these will definitely be looked at by the proposal evaluation committee. The other aspect is team composition. Remember, team composition, one of the aspects that team composition demonstrates the strength of team members and the technical capacity. Remember earlier on we talked about diversity, team diversity. Within your team, you could have one member who is more technical. You could have one member who has more skills in management. You could have also that member who has those skills in finance, who can definitely guide the entire team on how to really manage managing the entire project finances as required. You could as well have a team member who has those skills that are good at networking, who could definitely play a key role in connecting your project to the community. So that aspect is very key. The aspect of risks, how have you clearly articulated the anticipated risks your project might face, and also how are you planning to mitigate some of those risks? The other aspect is the involvement of local organizations and stakeholders. Like I said earlier, the community could do one of them. Depending on the project you are implementing, you could also collaborate with the school or any local organization in order to have that bigger impact and that sustainability. A clear potential for social and environmental impact with attainable success metrics is also very, very vital. The team will also look at this aspect critically, as well as aligning how have you aligned your project to the IEEE mission of advancing technology for the betterment of humanity. So these are some of the key aspects the evaluation committee will definitely look at while evaluating your proposal. What are some of those key issues we should really look at including into our proposals in order to make them strong? The first one is clearly articulate how the project addresses sustainable development challenge within your community, while focusing on those clearly those things that the call for proposals might have really clearly noted. For example, which SDGs are you going to really focus on as per the call for proposals concerned? Focus on the implementation of appropriate IEEE technology? Is the solution that you're planning to implement, does it have that sort of technology that is relevant to IEEE? So it is important to really have that clearly included into your proposal in order to make it strong. Demonstrate a connection with your local community. It is vital for you to really clearly demonstrate within your proposal. How are you collaborating? How are you working with your community? Like I said earlier, this aspect is very key, as it will definitely bring about sustainability and ownership. Ensure your team has the relevant expertise in order to execute that particular project. The evaluation team will definitely look at, because somewhere you'll be asked to include the biographies of your team, indicate how strong your team is. So it is important to clearly demonstrate or show how skilled your team is. And the evaluation committee will definitely base on that to ensure that this project will succeed as a result of your team, a strong team. Actively involve your community in determining what is needed and how the project will be designed. It is important to collaborate with your community. Include a thorough sustainability plan that includes educational efforts to ensure that the local communities can manage the deployed solution after the entire project implementation. This is what we talked about earlier. Make sure that your project, the community members, the community that you're working in is that you're collaborating with, members are empowered, trained on how the technology works or operates, how they can maintain this technology, assuming you are not there. And this definitely brings about sustainability. Clearly articulate the impact of the project and how it will be measured. Within your proposal, it is important to clearly articulate how, what impact your project will result into and how you intend to measure that, that particular impact. For example, if you are planning, let's say, to install a solar lighting system in a particular community, indicate what impact will that solution bring about, and how will you measure that particular impact. For example, let's say this project will result into a reduction of, let's say, in the insecurity within your community, assuming before the installation of this solution, probably you had there was a lot of insecurities, people being, let's say, let's say there was a lot of safety within the community. One of the impact would be reduction of safety within your particular community, within that particular community, and also how you intend to measure. For example, you intend to measure by recording those number of thefts that are happening in your community. This is just an example in that in respect to that particular aspect. What should we avoid during a proposal, the humanitarian technology proposal development? Proposals that are primarily research or commercial in nature cannot be funded once submitted. Remember, this project runs for only 6 months. If you're planning to implement a research project within those 6 months, I'm assuring you that this project will not have any impact. So that's why we don't definitely fund such proposals that are solely focused on STEM education, with no direct correlation to a challenge that is faced by a particular community. Just to mention on this point, there are a number of other programs, humanitarian technology programs, that sort of focus on STEM, a program like EPICS. So we encourage volunteers who have project proposals that are in line with STEM education definitely to consider progress, making use of the opportunities within the EPICS program. No deployment or customization. If the proposal is not focusing on deployment or customization, or as well as the deployment of the technology, your project proposal will not be supported. Proposals that lack clear plans for impact measurement will also not be supported. Always make sure that you have these aspects clearly indicated in your proposals. Proposals that solely deal with immediate disaster relief, or projects related to disaster preparedness or recovery. In this respect, we have another humanitarian technology program. Some of you might have heard about MOVE program. MOVE program is the program that focuses on that aspect. So if your proposal focuses on that particular aspect, it will definitely not be supported. Proposals that focus on developing medical devices or medical device prototypes. There is, in the past, HTB used to support these projects, but since these devices are definitely geared towards human, and when it comes to the approval processes of such prototypes before testing or before trying them out, the processes are quite long, and also in terms of the number of risks, they pose quite a lot of risks to I4E. So in that respect, HTB doesn't really, our Tech for Good program doesn't support proposals that are focusing on that aspect. Once you definitely submit your proposal, be prepared to respond to specific questions. The evaluation team will always scan through your proposals, assuming you submit, for example, a letter of intent. That is the first draft proposal. The team will definitely review your letter of intent or your proposal, and definitely they will always come up with questions in any of those aspects that we've just talked about. Questions might rotate around new demographic, new community demographics. They might also focus about physical infrastructure or local location of your project. More details about the implementing team. How many participants, for example, are female? How many non-members are you really involving or engaging within your particular project? Or questions might rotate around community organization that is really you are collaborating with within your project. So I'll definitely proceed to the application and decision making process once your proposal, once you submit in your proposal. The stage one, usually call for proposals has different stages, and review and decision making process also has a couple of stages. The first stage is basically a letter of intent is usually requested from whoever intends to submit a proposal, and this letter of intent will definitely be evaluated in order to ensure that it is within the scope of funding. It also meets criteria, eligibility requirements, as well as the team is definitely strong to implement that particular project. The second stage is basically committee members usually committee members discuss those completed proposals that are potentially ready for funding, and they will review the impact, the visibility, as well as those risks and the capacity of the team members. After that stage, there is always that initial approval process. Reviewers pre-select the strongest proposals as potential grantees. And once after that is done, this is definitely submitted to the IEEE Office of Risk and Insurance Management Services and the IEEE Legal in order to see if there are any risks that particular proposal might pose to IEEE. So if that particular proposal doesn't have any risk and it has already been approved initially, definitely the feedback from the ORIMS and legal team will definitely be received by the IEEE staff, and then the staff will reach out to whoever submitted that particular proposal, that the proposal has either been received, or if there are any risks as far as that particular proposal is concerned, definitely the staff will revert back to whoever is proposing that particular project to address any of those risks that the ORIMS team and the IEEE legal team might have really identified. After the entire approval, the team will proceed to implement, and definitely during the entire implementation, there's this other stage of reviewing and oversight where the HTB monitoring and subcommittee definitely expects any of us who might have submitted any of those proposals to report on how our projects are progressing. And the subcommittee reviews those reports, assuming the team finalizes the entire final report submission. The subcommittee definitely will proceed to review those final reports, and if there are any questions within that particular report that has been submitted, the subcommittee definitely will be reviewed. And it is also important to note that once your project has ended, this subcommittee, monitoring and evaluation committee expects your particular final report within 60 days after the completion of your project. So these are some of the entire stages that the entire team, review team and staff goes through as far as the entire review process is concerned. So what should we expect as far as proposal participating in Tech for Good proposal submission is concerned? The first stage is the submission of the letter of intent. Like I said earlier, here questions to determine the basic scope and the nature of the proposal that you are proposing definitely open for you to attend to. And then this also allows reviewers to assess the basic eligibility and the potential of your project. And then the entire reviewers will also provide the feedback to whoever might have submitted that proposal, if there are any questions, and if they find your proposal okay with no questions, they will definitely request you to proceed to submit your proposal. The second step, definitely applicants definitely proceed to submitting their full proposals. Additional questions might definitely come in depending on how you attended to those particular questions. An example is a letter of support from your local community is required. Applicants should incorporate feedback from initial review into their responses. If like a team reverts back to you to submitting your full proposal, and then together it comes with additional questions, it is important for you to really make sure that those questions are properly addressed within your full proposal. A 2-week window to submit a full proposal is usually given after receiving the first round of feedback. And the third step, applicants definitely respond to those questions that are with. For good committee members may have questions after reviewing your proposal. Like I said earlier, the committee will definitely meet, the entire review committee definitely meets every 2 weeks to discuss those funding questions as well as quicker applicants, enabling those quicker applicants to respond to those questions. Definitely, usually, the earlier the better. So in other words, the committee usually meets after 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, to review those questions that were sent to you. And once the faster you submit in those questions, answers to those questions, the better for you. The fourth decision and the last decision is the decision making. Applicants will be notified about their decision, about the decision of their proposal. If identified, a specific rationale will be provided. If approved, if denied, a specific rationale will be provided. If approved, those next steps will be outlined in order to move forward with the signing of those award documents and transfer of funds to the applicant's local section. What I mean here is that once all is approved, you will proceed to sign some sort of agreement. Those are the award documents, and thereafter the funds will be transferred to your local section. So all in all, it is important for us, we as engineers with the different skill sets, the future of our communities. There are quite a number of challenges within our communities, which challenges we can definitely solve through the utilization, through the application of the skill sets that we have, the engineering skills that we have, the management skills that we have in solving those particular challenges or problems. So thereby, this will definitely bring about, thereby making these communities where we live better places for us all. So it is important for us to always think through the skills that we have for the betterment of humanity. So as engineers, definitely this will bring about our purpose as engineers. So I thank you all for listening in. So I will definitely welcome any questions as far as putting together, how to put together a strong humanitarian technology or tech for good proposal. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lwanga. I believe it was a very informative session and you went through a lot of details. Even myself, I'm discovering for the first time. So any questions?
Hi, Lwanga. Hi, Noor. Hi, everyone. This is Samarth. And before the questions come up, and I'm sure there are some, I just wanted to thank Lwanga, first of all. I mean, Lwanga and I, we have known each other for a long time, 10 years now, maybe, Lwanga. We meet each other and we talk so much about humanity and humanitarian efforts. And it's always great to hear you, Lwanga. So I really, really appreciate you giving us this time.
Thank you so much, Samarth. I also thank the entire IEEE Region 8 Humanitarian Technologies Activities Committee under the leadership of Samarth and Nuru and the rest of the team. Thank you so much, Samarth, really, for all the amazing efforts and putting in your amazing leadership and also putting together this